What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Friday Night SmackDown review. As people begin to file in, little by little. Hopefully everybody had a great week. Miss J, I am exhausted. You couldn't have put it any better, but I'm here, as I said I would. So hopefully all is well with you. Been a very long week and a long day, and I don't have my beard anymore to hide it. So here I am, bare to the world. Hope all is well with you, Miss J. Yes, nice day, nice day. Busy but relaxing. I guess the best way you could have it these days, right? It was good. It was good. How about yourself? How about yourself? Busy, per usual, right? Well, I appreciate you joining me. On this Friday night. I'm sure a lot of lovebirds are busy tonight, but hopefully we get a good crew as we've had the last couple Friday Night SmackDown reviews. Let people file in a little bit as I play some classic Mark Henry in the background. Not really a day off. Yeah, no, I believe it. I believe it. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Rachel, how are we doing? I'll be right there, guys. Just got to step aside for 2 seconds. Good seeing you, Rachel. Miss J, how we doing? All right, no problem, Miss J. Well, hey, look, regardless, I appreciate you stopping in. Guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Friday Night SmackDown review. If you are new here, hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Again, every subscription goes a long way. Hopefully everybody's having a great start to their weekend. For those that celebrate, I hope you had a great Valentine's Day. And we're going to talk a little bit of Friday Night SmackDown in just a minute. You know, a lot took place. A lot transpired. We finally got some kind of progression. We got somewhat of an idea of what's going on with the Jade Cargill story. We definitely know what's going on with Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa as far as where they stand. As I and many mentioned over the past week or so, since Solo reared his head last week, we kind of knew this was the direction they were headed, you know, with Jacob and Solo. And that now Solo is going and saying, I love you, Jacob. Jacob ain't having it. He was abandoned by Solo a few weeks ago. And Jacob knows now that not only does he have to acknowledge Solo, he no longer has to do that, but he's stating his own claim. You know, he almost won tonight. Very good main event. And so I hear you, Rachel. I'm right there with you. King, WTF, what's going on, man? How you doing, King? You got something to say, bro? Speak up. Oh, I bet Tammy Tonga ain't too happy with Solo. I bet, Rachel. I'll tell you what, man. I'm really interested what's going to happen going forward with Jacob and Solo, and that's a match I would love to see at Mania. It's a match I would love to see. So, guys, continue to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well, and we're going to get started with this review in just a couple of minutes. So, looking forward to going over a lot. How about Michelle McCool going into the Hall of Fame? Good for her, man. Long time coming. You know, hopefully. Not this year, but maybe next year we get Miss Elizabeth. Spear Music, what's up, my man? How we doing? Have a good day. Cindy, how are we doing? I hope all is well with you as well. Glad all is well there. Glad all is well there, Spear. Oh, happy birthday! It's my wife's birthday as well. Happy birthday there, Spear Music. Hope you had a good one, man. Hope you had a good start to your weekend. Hopefully, you'll be celebrating all weekend. Guys, if you're new here, again, hit that subscribe button as well as hitting that thumbs up, hit that like button. And we're going to talk about this 3-hour SmackDown. Now, look, although we did get a lot going forward, especially towards, 8 to 9 was pretty good. 9 to 10 was rough tonight. And 10 to 11 picked up again. Again, it lets us know that SmackDown needs to be a 2-hour show, bottom line. But that being said, overall, it was a pretty good show. That being said, it dragged on. It was painstakingly long, as it's been for weeks now, going into 2025. And it was nice to hear Vic Joseph on commentary. Vic Joseph, he filled in for Joe Tessitore, being that Vic Joseph's going to be there tomorrow night in D.C., with Vengeance Day for NXT. So it was good to hear Vic Joseph. Although Vic Joseph, I feel like, talks too much on commentary. I like him, but I feel like he doesn't leave a lot of room for people to chime in. So, all right, Spear, nice, man. Cena vs. Triple H, WrestleMania 22. Hawk Tour, around 9:45, I had enough wrestling. Yeah, well, that's because, Rachel, 9 to 10 was very, very brutal. Cool to see LA Knight, Miz, Truth, Mello, but they dragged that out way too long. Stuff we could have did without. Would you say Logan Paul versus John Cena would be a good match? I would enjoy it. It's not something I'm clamoring about, especially if that would be Cena's last Mania match. But hey, Valentine's and birthday on the same day. Did something extra special. Yeah, something like that, Miss J. It's been so many years. I try to make every year extra special. Made it good. Made it good. After the year 2008, says Hawk Tua. I don't necessarily agree with that, Hawk Tua. It has its peaks and valleys. Now, I will tell you, during 2008 and a long time before that and a little bit after that, I did not watch. I took a major hiatus from wrestling, but I jumped back in. I jumped back in, and so, again, it has its peaks and valleys. It's all subjective, man. It's all subjective. Everybody thinks their era was the best, and that goes for not just pro wrestling. That goes for basketball, football, baseball, you name it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody thinks their era was best for music, you name it. So it's what it is. So we're going to get to the review in 2 minutes, guys. Again, continue to hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button, and subscribe to the channel. Again, Mondays and Fridays, I'm here for a full review of Raw and SmackDown. Again, you can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, and Facebook as well. I just love Ruthless Aggression. I hear you. No, I get you. I thought Cena would win the Rumble instead of Jay becoming the 1 or 2. Yeah, I did not think Cena was going to win the Rumble. I was very sure. I thought Cena was going to make it to the Final 4, but I didn't expect him to win it or even make it to the Final 2. But it was very interesting. Stone Cold, but he didn't really. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Spear. I hear you. Yeah, so guys, we're going to get into this again. They were in D.C. tonight, where NXT Vengeance Day will be tomorrow. I believe that's a 6-match card. I spoke to some of you guys on this channel and TikTok last night about it. So if we have time at the end, we'll talk about it. But again, guys, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and let's get started here. So Cody Rhodes opens the show. Talks about his WrestleMania opponent will be the winner of the Elimination Chamber, being that Jay declared he wants Gunther at Mania. And not before long, this was then interrupted by Drew McIntyre. He had some choice words, was then interrupted by Jacob Fatu, showing up with Tama Tonga. Now, I don't know what you guys think, but ever since especially Solo initially left 3-4 weeks ago and abandoned Jacob and Tama, some may say Tiffany Stratton is the focal point of SmackDown, which you could easily say that. Some may say Cody Rhodes. Personally, some may say the whole Jade Cargill storyline. To me, Jacob Fatu has absolutely taken over Friday Night SmackDown the last month. So like it or not, admittedly or not, Jacob Fatu comes out with Tama Tonga, says he's going to dog walk Damian Priest and Braun Strowman in the main event to advance to the Chamber. And as I said to some of you guys earlier in the week, I didn't think Fatu was going to advance, not because he couldn't, but if he was going to be in this Elimination Chamber match, I feel as if he would have to decimate the vast majority of these people and probably go on to win it, which I knew would not be the case with Cena being in there, Punk, Drew, and so on. So that said, I knew this was going to be a good main event. That being said, it was very interesting at the end, which we'll get to at the end of this review. Says he's going to win the Chamber, win at Mania, then bring the title back to the family that it never should have left last year when Roman dropped, obviously, to Cody at WrestleMania 40. Drew says, I think DC wants to see a psychopath, referring to himself, go up against a werewolf tonight. But it's not going to happen because I already secured my spot in the Chamber. So, good luck to you. later tonight in your match, and I'll leave you here with Cody Rhodes. That's what happened for a minute. Then you see on the Tron there, Solo pulls up backstage, which obviously immediately piqued the curiosity of Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu. Cody was about to make his way out the ring. Jacob put his hand up and said, look, he says, you know, if anybody is going to get to Solo first, it's going to be me. I'm going to handle family business. You could get to him later. And Cody says, all right, you could basically start things off or open it. And Cody said, I'm going to have the last word. I will have the last say with Solo Sikoa when this night is over. So that kind of did happen to a point, which we're going to get to in a little bit, guys. So I can't wait to go forward with that. And that was the opening segment. I enjoyed it. It really set the stage for an exciting night. Again, 8 to 9 was good. 9 to 10 was filler, nonsense, dragged out garbage. 10 to 11, then things picked up again with Tiffany, with Charlotte, Trish Stratus, with the main event for Elimination Chamber advancing there for the number 5 spot. The 6th spot for the men and women will be taking place on Raw Monday. We'll get to that as well. So then we would get the first match of the night. Elimination qualifier match for the women. Naomi with Bianca Belair going up against United States champion Chelsea Green alongside Piper Niven. Now, I said this the other night. I hate the fact that they put Lyra in this tournament. They put Chelsea in this tournament. Both inaugural IC and US champions. Now, Chelsea has held that US title 2 months to the day, right? Winning in Long Island December 14th. Lyra won it, give or take, about a month ago against Dakota Kai, the IC title, that is. Neither one have had really any kind of a significant feud. Chelsea's been facing Mishin for 2 months. The girl she won it up against in Long Island. Lyra's finally mixing it up with Ivy Nile now. And so you have both of them lose in this Elimination Chamber qualifier. I don't get, you know, okay, you're showing me that Chelsea and Lyra maybe qualify to even get a match for this because they are said champion. You could look at it, you know, with the glass half full aspect of that, as I usually, that's my approach in life anyway. But to be honest, there's no silver lining to me because you have both of them lose in the same week. They don't advance. And they should be busy with their mid-card feuds, whoever that's against. So you're wasting their time. There's other women that could have been in this place, especially if Naomi and Bayley were going to advance to the Elimination Chamber match in Toronto. Why waste these women's time? Why waste these women's time? So I don't get that. So we'll talk about the outcome of that in a minute. I want to check out some comments here. Have a great night there, Miss J, if you're still in here. I think CM Punk will win Elimination Chamber, says Spear. Okay. Nas, what's up? WWE wants us to take their mid-card women's championship seriously. Yet, yeah, I agree, Nas. And the best way you could defend that, quite literally, no pun intended, is keeping both of those women out of this Elimination Chamber qualifier. Now, I'm not saying Lyra or Chelsea should have went over. I'm not saying that. I think Bayley and Naomi were the right picks to advance. But don't put them up against your inaugural champions at that. Crazy. You know Cena will win? Okay. Crazy as Charlotte is the first woman to win 2 Royal Rumbles. Yeah, could have been her or Bianca the other night easily. That were obviously, you know, projected, either Bianca or Charlotte. Of course, it could have been Bayley or somebody else, but, you know, we all thought that it would be Charlotte or Bianca at the Rumble. So anyway, jumping to the conclusion of this match, we see Naomi win with a split-legged moonsault, qualifying for the 5th spot in the Elimination Chamber. Now, Monday, we'll have Roxanne Perez going up against Raquel Rodriguez. Now, look, by Monday, Roxanne Perez could be a full-fledged member of the Monday Night Raw roster because I don't think, whether it's Cora, Roxanne, Bayley, you name it, none of them are taking that NXT Women's title off of Julia tomorrow night at Vengeance Day, again in D.C., just like where SmackDown was tonight. So you better believe that Roxanne will beat Raquel Monday, and she probably will be a permanent fixture on Monday Night Raw, much like Tiffany was on SmackDown last year. Similar trajectory. I'm not saying Roxanne's going to win Money in the Bank. I'm not saying she's going to become a WWE champion in 2025 or the top of 26, but I think she will go on a significant run. She might even tear it up in the mid-card initially. I could see them eventually, I don't want to say dumb it down, but eventually have Roxanne thrusted into the mid-card over time, and then holding one of those titles this year, whether it's an IC on Raw or if she moves over to SmackDown US title, kind of like where I think Melo's headed first, right? I think Melo's headed first for... My guess is Melo's going to be holding something like a U.S. title by the summer, maybe SummerSlam or something like that. But we'll see. So that was the conclusion of that match. Again, we got Liv, Alexa, Bianca, Bayley, Naomi, the 5 women already in the chamber. And then this was, I think, right before the start of that match, actually. Wade Barrett was with Trish Stratus, who was in the crowd. Kind of random. They were talking about the Elimination Chamber being in her home of Toronto, Canada. next month, and basically they discussed, will Trish be a fan or will she be getting involved somehow? Soon shall see. All you had to do was wait about 2 hours or so, and by about 10:15, 10:20 Eastern time, we knew exactly where Trish would stand, and I can't wait to talk about that when that time comes. At this moment in time, we got a Sami Zayn update from him himself. He posted it on X earlier, just before the show, I believe. And Sami Zayn, we got an update. He doesn't understand KO's reasoning for attacking him the other night. Doesn't know when he'll be cleared, but he says to KO, "You and me, yet again, once again, will go at it. Whenever that may be, we soon shall see." Again, there's a lot of connectivity throughout the course of this 3-hour show now that it goes 3 hours. A lot of times when this show is just 2 hours, folks, you had to wait till next week for an answer, whether it was from finding out what's going on with Trish or finding out what's going on with KO and Sami and so on. But we'd find out later in the night. And so, again, these two are going to duke it out. We've seen it before WWE. They've had many battles in WWE, NXT, you name it. So that's that. We're going to get to this next matchup. We had a tag team match again, guys. We're going to talk about now. But, guys, if you're just joining me, hit that thumbs up, hit the like button. Again, also be sure to subscribe to the channel. You could also follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Turnbuckle Topics, TOPIX. Let's see here. If they're going to do that, I feel like at least one of them should have won. Okay. I hear you, Nas. You would think that would be the approach or outlook. But again, to just avoid all of that, because even if you put Chelsea or Lyra in this chamber, I still think it's dumb, even if they were to win, because neither of them are going to even win the chamber match itself. So to me, it's a waste of time. Give it to somebody that not necessarily deserves it, but somebody that doesn't hold any kind of title, and let Lyra and Chelsea focus on their new mid-card titles that are not just new to them, but new to the company and to the division itself. So I think booking both of them in these matches was ridiculous. I feel like Sami will lose when Cody failed to help, and then he turns heel. He may. He's, Sami at times can be very easily influenced. You know what I mean? So it would not shock me if Sami in due time, whether it's the spring or summer, would either side with KO yet again or turn heel at some point. It's been a few years, He's been a fan favorite the last couple of years. So we're going to go to Motor City Machine Guns versus Los Garza, okay? Now, I'm just going to jump to the conclusion of this because we got a lot to get to. Again, guys, hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up button as well during the course of this review. Alex Shelley pins Humberto for the win. I don't think any of us are surprised that Motor City defeated Los Garza. Los Garza, I love Santos. The rest of the group, I don't know, man. They're falling apart pretty quickly. Elektra Lopez, the leading lady of that group, was let go last Sunday. She was the final release of the 10 or 11 people that were let go last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Take that as you may. Now we got a backstage segment. I really enjoyed this, where Jacob Fatu finally found Solo in the locker room area, and I cannot wait to discuss this part here. All right, Spear, take care, my friend. No problem. Guys, thank you for joining me tonight. Again, I've been going live on TikTok for the last several months, moving a lot of my content over to YouTube because that was the long game anyway. So when you make your way in here, again, be sure to subscribe, hit that thumbs up button. And look, whether we get 5, 15, or 50 people in here, I appreciate you spending your, Mondays or Fridays or whenever I'm on here with me. So we're going to talk Jacob finding Solo in the locker room area. All right, so Solo says, he hasn't been himself since he lost to Roman on January 6th. He lost to Ulafala. He lost the tribal combat. He lost respect from his peers, probably lost belief in himself. And he says, but getting back on track all starts with Jacob Fatu winning his match tonight, advancing to the Elimination Chamber, winning the Elimination Chamber, going to Mania, main eventing in some capacity, winning that title back from Cody Rhodes that they dropped last year via Roman Reigns, and all will be right? That's what you would think. Solo thinks he could just pick up where he left off, and Jacob ain't having it. Jacob is not having it, and rightfully so. I get down with Jacob with this. I agree with him. Jacob started walking away when Solo said this. Solo then stopped Jacob. Grabbed his arm, grabbed his shoulder. Jacob looked at him like, "What the hell do you want?" At that moment in time, Jacob looked disgusted, and Solo says, "I love you, Jacob." And this is Jacob's been saying the "I love you" Solo. You've seen it on memes all over the internet the past 6-7 months. And we all knew this day would come, whether we looked forward to it or not. We all knew that there was going to come a time where Jacob would no longer acknowledge Solo. But now you got Solo acknowledging Jacob, right? And saying, I love you, Jacob. So Jacob, again, disgusted, walks away, followed by Tama Tonga. About 10 seconds after that, kind of looked at looked at Solo, slightly disgusted, and said, I'm going with Jacob. He's the guy I follow around here now. And we knew this was coming. There's no reason to look towards Solo as a leader anymore at any standpoint. He lost all credibility, losing to Roman, losing to Ulafala last month, getting pinned at War Games, in their Survivor Series matchups. So Solo abandoned, these guys last month. And so this new bloodline of sorts is over. It's just Jacob and Tama. And if Tongaloa shows up one day, so be it. So this is where things started to decline. We're going into hour 2. And as nice as it was to finally see him, the United States champion, he's been on the side of a milk carton for the last 3 months since he won the title pretty much. Shinsuke Nakamura shows up. He was then interrupted by LA Knight. And this was just a whole thing that, it's moments and segments like this. And I don't care if you're the biggest Nakamura fan or Miz fan or LA Knight fan. These are the moments that you say to yourself, this show does not need to be 3 hours. Bottom line, this show needs to be 2 and we're through, like it's been for years. I don't care how much you love pro wrestling. SmackDown does not need to be 3 hours at all. Let me know in the chat. Do you agree that SmackDown needs to be 2 hours? I think in June they might let up and go back to 2. We've watched, 6, 7, 8 episodes of SmackDown. I don't think any one of them needed to be 3 hours. I think they could have got in whatever they needed in 2. And look, I'm a big fan of R-Truth. Nice to see Mello. Nice to see Miz once in a while and LA Knight and Nakamura. But look, this was just dragged out from the promo to the match with Miz and LA Knight. We found out they had this war of words. LA Knight was going in on the Miz for a while. Nick Aldis, the SmackDown GM, came out and said, look, you guys, we're going to have a match right now tonight. Whoever wins this, #1 contender for Nakamura's U.S. title. So LA Knight goes on to win this match, right? He goes on to win this match against The Miz. A blunt force trauma and an elbow drop for the win. Who cares? All right, it's almost 3 full months later since Nakamura defeated LA Knight, which a lot of us were shocked that Nakamura won that U.S. title from LA Knight. We thought it was going to be Mello. We thought it was going to be Andrade. They had a best of 5, a best of 7. And so that was pretty much that. But who cares, really? And again, I'm an optimist, glass half full, silver linings kind of guy. But when you got me sitting down on a Friday night, whether I got the time or not, and watching this 3-hour nonsense, again, 8 to 9 was cool. 9 to 10 was not good. And 10 to 11, things picked up again. This was boring to me. So I'd rather see Mello in this spot, Andrade in this spot. I don't know. I'd rather not see LA Knight and Miz and Shinsuke keep this charade going on. You guys let me know what you think, though. All right, Spear, take care if you got to go. Thanks, Silk. Appreciate you, man. What is the thing about Jacob Fatu? Jacob Fatu is heel turn. What are you saying, Khan, about Jacob with Solo? It's expected, man. It's expected. Let's see. A Thursday Night Thunder hat would be dope. Yes, Silk, absolutely. I remember them Thunder days, man. I remember when that show debuted. Might be showing my age. You're right. It should be 4 hours. And yeah, I know now. It's 4 hours. I tell you, 4 hours. I'll totally boycott SmackDown. Aurora, how we doing tonight? Guys, thank you for joining me in the midst of this SmackDown review. If you're new here, welcome. Hit that like button. Hit the thumb up. Also, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys joining me on this Friday night. And look, let's have fun. Most importantly, let's have a good time. But hit that subscribe. I'm here Mondays and Fridays, immediately following Raw and SmackDown. I think Jacob would be a good face. Jacob will eventually be a great face. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. The one thing about Jacob Fatu that a lot of people don't have on screen is authenticity and a certain likability. We talk about Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre over the past several months, whether it was beef with Roman or Punk or whomever, and we talk about, they may be in the right. They stood for their core principles. And Jacob Fatu is one of those guys, like, he takes no prisoners. But a lot of the things Jacob stands on, he's right. Like Solo abandoning them 3-4 weeks ago, and Jacob had to fend on his own. He's only been with the company 6, 7, 8 months, and he's been doing a damn good job on his own the last few months. So why should he take Solo back? Why should he accept Solo or nonetheless even acknowledge him in any respect, right? So, you could add Jacob to that list, that he has every reason to feel the way he does about Solo, even though Solo may be slipping into a babyface role in due time. So, Jacob, absolutely, Aurora. There will come a day, whether it's near or far, that Jacob will be a beloved babyface, without question. He's capable of both. Fire and ice, man. I'm just getting tired of LA Knight. Wiccan, you read my mind, brother. Good seeing you. I am so damn tired of LA Knight. I'm so tired of him, man. And, whether or not he becomes the two-time U.S. champion or not, I hate to say this, because even if LA Knight becomes a heel tomorrow, I don't even know if I still care. Like, I don't even, to me, LA Knight, and a lot may disagree. I know he's got a big fan base with a younger crowd. To me, LA Knight, I'm getting so tired of his whole shtick. It's almost like, to me, like, go away heat. Like, I don't even want to care to see him in a heel sense anymore. I'm tired of him, man. I'm tired of him. So, this is my IR now. I am back. Arif, what's up, man? I'm good, Cal. How we doing, man? I'm good. But, all the best. I respect a guy like LA Knight's journey, making it to WWE later in his career, like AJ Styles to a point. Both guys who frequented TNA, Impact, or whatever. Good for LA Knight. That aside, I can't really. I was more into LA Knight a year or two ago. Now I got to be honest, man. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Regardless if he was still champion or not. That's just me. But again, guys, if you just joined me, hit that thumbs up button, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. And as we move forward on this Friday night edition, he almost got that X-Pac. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what the whole deal is with WWE merging with TNA or whatever? Rocky, what's up, man? Yeah, they have a partnership, TNA and WWE. Main emphasis is going to be TNA with NXT, but it's not to say that, men and women cannot make their way to Raw or SmackDown. Hopefully we see that as well. That would be a lot of fun. I don't have the whole specific bullet point presentation in front of me as far as like what the ins and outs are of the deal and the specifics, the terms and all that, but I do know that it's going to be something fun going forward, and I like that level of unpredictability, so I got to say I'm here for it. Do I feel WWE should release him? Who is that, Rachel? LA Knight? No, absolutely not. See, here's the problem. LA Knight is too good to certainly release. That would just be silly. But, I got to say, he's one of the guys that are more popular these days that I'm really having a hard time continuing to root for. I don't know whose fault it is, whether it's his, whether it's booking. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you, I'm getting very tired of LA Knight in any regard. So, LA Knight won that match, Cal. He defeated Miz, and he advances to become the #1 contender for the U.S. title. Maybe he becomes a 2-time U.S. champ. Nakamura himself is a 3-time United States champ. So, we'd love to see Santana in NXT match. Absolutely, Wiccan. That day's coming, man. That day's coming. So, I'm excited for that. But as I suppose, let's move forward here. Let's move forward. Do you feel WWE should release him? I feel like you do with Knight. You think I feel like they should release him, Rachel? I don't. I mean, do you like LA Knight, Rachel? Are you a big LA Knight fan? Because look, man, I got nothing against the guy. I really don't. But what I will tell you is I will be bluntly honest. And I've never been one of those people, and I see why people say it, that are like, LA Knight is like a combination of Stone Cold and The Rock and XYZ. And I see that too. And I feel like to a point, every wrestler, every artist, even musicians and stuff, they take a little bit of everything, right? And they mold it into their own. And I respect that. But I don't know, man. I just don't think people are going to care about LA Knight going forward. Repackage him. Yeah, you can do that too. Not in a Max Dupree role, Wiccan, but I mean, how do you think LA Knight back in 2016, how do you think he would do in WWE? Like how Eli Drake would do? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's grown since then a lot, which I do believe, Cal. I remember watching him on Impact then, but no, I mean, I feel like how you're feeling about LA Knight. Yeah, I mean, look, again, I like Knight. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. He should have won Money in the Bank when it was time. He was the hottest at the time. Yeah. And look, I'm all about feeding the hot hand too, Nas. I think the bottom line is whenever you're going to push LA Knight to the moon, I mean, the thing is, I've seen people say when Jey Uso won the Rumble, like, oh, why didn't, LA Knight get this kind of treatment? And I get it, but, to me, Jey Uso, people might be tired of him, but to me, Jey Uso was never overbearing. Jey Uso was always, and I'm not saying that LA Knight was disingenuous or not organic, but Jey Uso was like calm and subtle, and yeah, the whole yeet stuff and all that. and he's been with the company 15 plus years. That's all well and good, but I don't know, man. There's something about LA Knight that's just kind of like, I don't know. It's a bit much. Can you say how you just want to know how it's pronounced? Is it Narian Arif? Is that it, bro? Hopefully. I love you, Solo. He's going to need some love, Cal, because I'm going to be honest with you, man. He ain't getting it from Jacob anymore. He ain't getting it from Jacob anymore at all, but we'll see. But let me, that was enough about LA Knight. Let me go forward. I'm an LA Knight fan. Hey, teach his own. I think LA Knight's a better heel than face. Yeah, I think LA Knight is a natural heel. He's just that, he's that wise guy, I mean, I'm getting tired of LA Knight. Sorry, I'm confusing you. Yes, Rachel, you definitely confused me, but it's all right. It's all right. I was trying to, hey, sometimes it's hard trying to figure out in writing. I can't tell you how many times I misconstrue people's text messages. They probably do the same with mine, but let's move forward here. During a Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax backstage segment, we had a Wyatt 6 tease. I'm sure you saw with the screen. We saw Candice LeRae there, so we all know Alexa's going to join up with the Wyatt 6. It's not a matter of if, but when. We know that's happening. This is then when we get an R-Truth Carmelo Hayes match. Always great seeing R-Truth. We know that. That's besides the point. Again, hate to say it, this is just filler because, again, a match you would not get on a two-hour episode of SmackDown. It's 3 hours, so here we are. Melo wins, so we move forward. This will just contribute to weeks or months from now when Melo is eventually in title contendership for a U.S. title or whatever. They could say Melo rung off 7-8 consecutive wins. R-Truth just happened to be one of them. That's just how this is. We know that's what it is. We then would get a Street Profits vignette. Now, this is the heel Profits, and I love it. Heel Profits, they call out the tag team division. I'm talking DIY, then goes and has a segment with Pretty Deadly, but the Profits called out pretty much everybody. They called out, again, DIY, the tag champs, Pretty Deadly. Who else did they call out? They called out Motor City, Los Garza, you name it. They're coming for the whole division. Babyface or heel, we know they're not messing around. They haven't seen gold since damn near COVID days. And quite frankly, they're fed up. So I get it. Again, DIY was then seen backstage after this segment manipulating Pretty Deadly yet again. And so it seems like, Profits have moved into the heel space. Pretty Deadly potentially moving their way to the babyface side of things. That's where it looks like things are going there. And then at this moment in time, this is where we would see KO respond to Sami Zayn. What Sami Zayn said in hour 1, KO would then respond in hour 2. Let's see here. Now, how Roman Reigns will be back on good faith. I'd rather see Alexa go on her own out with the White Six. I hear you, Rachel. I agreed with you for many months. But again, sadly, it's not about Alexa. They're more worried and concerned about the trajectory of the Wyatt 6, and they feel like if they don't boost the Wyatt 6 at this point, with Alexa, if the Wyatts aren't with Alexa now, that the Wyatts are done for, which I think the Wyatts would be done for if Alexa doesn't join them. So they have to amp things up. Calvin with the yeet. So KO responds to Sami Zayn, says, no better place than where it all began for us in Canada at Elimination Chamber. So, we were talking about this the other night, many of us. We were discussing where are we going to get KO versus Sami. Will it be Chamber in Canada, in Toronto? Will it be Mania? We could still get a part 2 match at Mania, and it could conclude at Backlash, which I think very well may happen. So we may get a part 1 at Chamber, part 2 at Mania, and part 3 at Backlash. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm okay with them having an initial match in Chamber, being that it's in Canada and all that. I'm not bent out of shape that it's not just solely happening at Mania. Because quite frankly, I don't think this is a one-and-done match. I think you guys would mostly agree with that too. Let me know in the comments section. When do you think we're going to see the OTC? Hopefully soon. I know Rachel's counting down the days, Cal. So Rachel Mims, a.k.a. Rachel Reigns over there, man. Look, I'm a big Reigns fan myself, but no one wants to see him more than Rachel there, right? So hopefully soon, man. So now let's move forward here. We're finally getting to pick things up here a little bit, and we are jumping into the start of hour 3. Thank God. Thank God, because, I mean, goodness gracious. 8 to 9 was cool. 9 to 10 was dreadful, and with the exception of a couple vignettes and segments. And hour 3, thank goodness, that was a good way for them to finish the show. So we'll get to that in a minute. Again, guys, if you just joined me, hit that like button, hit the thumbs up button. If you're new here, welcome. Subscribe to the channel. Welcome. I'm here Mondays and Fridays following Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown. So I appreciate you joining me. Hope El Generico helps Sammy. Yeah, I've heard of that guy, Wiccan. He has a pretty bright future, man. Pretty bright future for sure. So let's forge forward here. We have Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton going into hour 2. Women's title opportunity. 1 month, 11 days since Tiffany Stratton became champion. Who's counting? Let's jump to the finish of this, right? Candice LeRae's involvement on the apron led to a disqualification for Nia Jax. Tiffany retains the title, as I think anybody with half a brain knew that Tiffany was going to retain. Charlotte Flair, they pinned to her many times during this match. Backstage, watching on the screen. I mean, they should have had her pull up a chair and watch. I could get it if they're just going to flash to somebody once during the show, like, oh, they used to do many years ago, time to time. They would show, oh, this person's watching them, they're a number 1 contender or whatever, future title shot. You're panning the Charlotte 2, 3, 4 times. Give her a damn chair. Let her sit down. I mean, my God, it's not realistic that she's standing this close, to a TV for 20 minutes. Just give her a chair. Anyway, that being said, I get the aesthetic and everything. Again, Candice LeRae costs Nia the match. I'm sure they really didn't care about it. Tiffany wins, 2-on-1 attack. LeRae gets a hold of a steel chair, ready to attack Tiffany. Out comes Trish Stratus, the other TS in the crowd. So we got Tiffany Stratton, Trish Stratus, trying to get back in the thick of things here. Did not really help fully because they still ended up on top. Nia with a leg drop to Tiffany Stratton. Nia and Candice stood tall. And at this moment in time, we knew, okay, again, Elimination Chamber in about 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks away exactly. Back in Trish's hometown. Trish is in attendance. She's obviously having a match. We would then find out later that we're going to get a tag team match with Trish and Tiffany versus Nia and Candice, for those that care. I'm excited to see Trish. We all remember, what was it, SummerSlam 2019 when Trish fought Charlotte in Toronto. That was cool. So let's see. Just my opinion. SmackDown seems like a lot of recycled storylines just to fill 3 hours. Yeah, Aaron, I don't know if you were here the whole time or just jumped in, but it is. I mean, we got some clarity on certain situations tonight, dude, but, hour 1 was cool. Hour 2 was just filler nonsense collectively. And hour 3, at least it finished a little better than hour 2 was. Hour 2 is dreadful. I'm excited as well, Rachel. In your opinion, would you put Charlotte over or keep Tiffany going longer? I would keep Tiffany going forward, Wiccan. I would. Great seeing Trish as well, Wiccan. But yeah, I would absolutely have Tiffany. I would absolutely have Tiffany retain, but I have a funny feeling that won't happen. AW for me won't be on until 10:30 because of the All-Stars. Oh, right. That's right, Rachel. It's on after the All-Star game, right? That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. Which, you know what, could be beneficial because then we get to watch all of NXT, right? So, because I don't know if I'm going to jump on here for a review tomorrow. If anything, maybe I'll hop on Sunday night, so we'll see. Did anybody see Bayley during the celebrity basketball game tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time? I watched her for a little bit. I don't know if she scored any points, but she was on the blue team. I don't know if they won. Anyway, I know it's totally random. But Charlotte Flair's music hits as Nia and Candice make their way out. That Tiffany Stratton, she's laid out flat in the center of the ring. Again, she was quite literally just flattened by Nia Jax's leg drop. Charlotte Flair's music hits. Stratton line in the center of the ring again. Flair gets on the mic, pulls up a chair beside her, and says, "The Queen chose you." Or the Queen chooses you, and I'll see you at WrestleMania. So, as we all knew, as much as a lot of us may have wanted Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Part 3, there's going to come a day where we get that. And so here we of course, would get Tiffany Stratton and along the way to Charlotte Flair. We knew we were getting this. I'm glad we're getting this, and I'm excited for it. So, let's see here. Who do you think, John Cena, what's your phase before you fully retire from? What are you saying there, Cal? Who do you think John Cena... Are you talking about who he'll face or face turn? What are we saying? Hello, Tony. Sorry, I don't want LA versus Shinsuke match again. I want to see Hayes versus Shinsuke. Yeah, I hear you, Tammy. Thank you for joining me for a bit here. I was saying that early on, about 20 minutes ago, Tammy. I went on a bit of a rant, if you will. I'm tired. I'm tired of LA Knight. Okay, I'm. This is the first time I think I'm outwardly tired of him. I'm not sure if it's necessarily his fault or not. I would much rather a guy like Melo too. I mean, shit. Give me Melo. Give me Andrade. Give me someone else. Just give me somebody else that is going to intrigue me. And you're just bringing up this old feud from 3 months ago. I don't care. Maybe there's big LA Knight fans, big Shinsuke fans, and I like Shinsuke. And LA Knight I'm indifferent to, but I don't know. We feel the same. So we're going to jump into backstage, right? Trish Stratus again came to the aid of Tiffany Stratton. And after that, Charlotte Flair then challenges Tiffany Stratton to a match at WrestleMania. So that's crazy. Like, if you're Tiffany Stratton, the way Tiffany Stratton's 2025, we could just pause for a second here. Tiffany Stratton is what, 25, 26, held the Money in the Bank briefcase for the last 6 months or so, cashed in not even a month and a half ago, the start of 2025, won the WWE Women's Championship. She got the 14-time Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair, the Queen, who just returned after being out over a year, challenging her, the two-time Rumble winner, for a match at Mania tonight. And just a few minutes before that was saved by Trish Stratus, all right, against Candice and Nia. And then, backstage, we then would find out that at some point, Trish Stratus would then want to join Tiffany in her hometown of Toronto, Canada, in Elimination Chamber in 2 weeks in a tag team match. So, Tiffany must be on cloud nine, and good for her, man. Good for her. She's grown on me. I know she's grown on a lot of the WWE audience universe. Call it what you want. The last year or two, again, what sold Tiffany Stratton to me was the Becky Lynch feud, the summer of 23 going into the fall of 23. Their match at No Mercy, which I believe concluded their feud. Even though Becky went out on top over Tiffany, it showed me that Tiffany was more than just a pretty blonde. That Tiffany can go, that she got a good move set, that she is very physical. And so good for her, man. I'm excited. Let's see here. Getting to a few comments here. Love Miz versus Shinsuke myself. That would have been cool, Tammy. Oh, Jey Uso beats the ring general. I think he will, Cal. I'd rather watch another Chelsea versus Mishin than Knight versus Nakamura. Yeah, I hear you. And, and we're getting tired of that as well, Chelsea Mishin, but I'm right there with you, Wiccan. Trish was the surprise of the night. Good to see Trish, Tammy. She looks great. Who do you think John Cena's, who do I think John Cena will face, you're saying, Cal? Is that what you're saying? I mean, if Cena wins the Chamber, I think, obviously, him and Cody, we'll see what happens, man. Tiff turns 26, so she's still 25. Thank you for checking on that, Nas. Just don't want Charlotte beating Tiffany. I'm right there with you, Tammy. Again, we're agreeing on many things here tonight. I've been all for Charlotte Tiffany. I've been for this for months. We expected Tiffany to cash in successfully. We expected Charlotte to return, whether she won the Rumble, won the Chamber. We kind of all anticipated Tiffany versus Charlotte in some capacity at Mania, right? And, the problem with that is, and I understand why a lot of people have a problem with Charlotte, is not because of how good she is or not, or whether she deserves to be a 14-time champ and so on, but if she gets the jetpack, the rocket pack. It's like she comes back, and I have the eerie feeling, too, that Charlotte's going to come back. She missed a milestone Mania last year, regardless who she was supposed to go up against or what she was supposed to accomplish. And I feel like she's going to get number 15 against Tiffany at Mania in Vegas. So, again, I hope not. We'll see what happens, but I'm excited to see what happens in the coming weeks. Tiffany is the future. She's going to have a lot of success years to come. Yeah, she will. She'll have a lot of success for years to come for sure. But that being said, Nas, she should still retain at Mania. And regardless, I don't know how you feel about her and Charlotte, but regardless of Tiffany having a bright future or not, it doesn't mean that Charlotte should win at Mania. Absolutely not. I actually didn't check it. I just remember that's pretty good, Nas. I'm good with dates too, but that's really good. By the way, did you see TNA is bringing back the pay-per-view Unbreakable? I did not see that, Tammy. Thank you for the 411. With Charlotte calling herself the queen, maybe Nia takes that personally. Yeah, you're right, Wiccan. She does have a reason to feel away. It's not his final year in WWE. Should he stay face or turn heel? He should stay face, Cal. Absolutely. John Cena turning heel to me is stupid. At some point in time that would have been fun, but his final year, it's dumb. You're just going to do it to do it? I don't get that. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Nas. Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Yeah, she will have a great career regardless. But again, I hope she does return against Charlotte. Because Charlotte's, again, I get it. She's kind of the standard, but it doesn't mean she should be beating everybody left and right. Speaking of Becky Lynch, where are we going to see that woman? I don't know, Cal, but I'm excited to. Yeah, definitely. All right, guys, so we are going to move forward here. Let's talk about this backstage moment here, which I know a lot of us, and I'm glad you're in here, Tammy, as well as many others, because I know we've been meaning to talk about this. We're all chomping at the bit, right? SmackDown GM Nick Aldis received an anonymous tip. What was it? A cell phone footage or something? I don't even think it was security camera footage. In regards to the Jade Cargill attack, November 22nd, or at least that's when we found out about it, right? Rolls the footage, Naomi and Bianca present. In the frame, of course, Bayley, Naomi, Bianca were at the foot of that ambulance, seeing how Jade's well-being is. Suddenly appearing in the frame, you see both Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez seemingly laughing, joking, to the left side of that frame. I don't know, guys. I'm not sold on the Judgment Day doing it. I'm not sold on Liv and Raquel. I think most of us here aren't either. Was it Bianca? Was it Naomi? What were they in cahoots? I love to hear it more than anything tonight. I love hearing your guys' opinions, but I want to know very conclusively, gut reaction after seeing that footage. Now, what do you think? Almost 3 months later, after seeing it, do you think it's Bianca? Do you think it's Naomi? Do you think it's both? Let me know. Or do you think it is Liv and Raquel? I don't know. I hate to be so gullible to think that, but maybe some do. But Bianca and Naomi discussed clearing their names of this whole incident after seeing Liv and Raquel. They're pretty quick to do so. So we soon shall see. Tammy, anyone going to WrestleMania will get 4 days of wrestling. TNA, SmackDown, Raw. Oh, that's great, Tammy. Awesome. Perfect pass, the torch moment. Yep, definitely. I agree, Nas. Still think it's either Bianca or Naomi, says Tammy. Okay. Yeah, I'm leaning into it being one of them. Which one, I'm not so sure. Charlotte Flair time has passed. I don't see anything new. I hear you. They're still going to want to run up a couple more title wins for her. It's just a matter of when, though, right? Charlotte Flair, okay, you know I'm really not a fan of LA Knight. Okay, what do you think about Ricky Starks? Yeah, good for Starks, man. I think NXT is the perfect place for him to get, familiar with. And I'm sure he'll have a couple title reigns, regardless what title that is. Melo's great. I think it's a way to pull away from Naomi and Bianca, but Jade will tell us. Yeah, we'll find out. Liv and Raquel laughing would make it too obvious. Still think it's Naomi, Wiccan. The first week or two, I thought it was Bianca. The last couple of months, I really think it was Naomi sliding into that position and being very dismissive of finding out any further information regarding her. But I don't know, man. I really don't know what to make of this. I'm going to stop racking my brain, and I'm just going to let it play out, as the old cliche saying is. Did anyone see Bailey at any Celebrity All-Star game? Yeah, I was talking about that a few minutes ago. I did. I saw the first hour, between 7 and 8. I don't know if it end shortly after that. Who won? The white team, the blue team? I know she was on. Did she score at all? I don't think she scored when I was watching. But, yeah, it was cool to see her out there. So, let's jump into something else. Again, we found out, I mentioned a couple minutes ago, Tiffy being interviewed by Byron Saxton backstage. Tiffy says Charlotte's going to know that it's Tiffy time come WrestleMania. Trish says us in Toronto versus Nia and Candice at Elimination Chamber. Again, she must be living on Cloud 9 right now. In the same night, Trish helped try to save Tiffany Stratton. And then moments later, Charlotte Flair, the 14-time queen, 2-time Rumble winner, call her what you want, challenges Tiffany at WrestleMania. Wild night for Tiffany in a lot of respects. After that, then we got, let's see. Drew was backstage with Jimmy Uso, right? Drew McIntyre, Jimmy Uso having an exchange. Drew doing what he does best, playing mind games with his opponents the last year or two in this very heelish role. Jimmy wasn't having it. He knocked Drew right down. And I like this. And, we talk about who should contend for the U.S. title. We talk about Melo or Andrade or, some even say Miz maybe they would have preferred over LA Knight, so be it. But let's factor in maybe Jimmy Uso at some point. I know a lot of people may be doing it just because of the comparison game with Jay winning the IC. It'd be cool if Jimmy won the US. And I'm not even looking at it from that standpoint. I'm just looking at it from how Jimmy came back in 2025, sold me more of a better single superstar than I thought he was in 2023. And quite frankly, I mean, from the way the mid-card's looking these days and the lack thereof of me and a lot of you guys giving a damn about it, why not? Why not immerse Jimmy Uso into the title picture? I mean, I don't think LA Knight needs to win it back from Shinsuke. If you have a guy like Jimmy Uso win the title back, or win the title rather, from Shinsuke at some point in the next month or two, I say you have Jimmy hold it till maybe SummerSlam, and then you have a guy like Melo come in and win it from Jimmy. And then I think, you get Melo on a good stretch for the rest of the year. I would like to see something like that. That's just my thing. So I know it's probably unlikely, at least Jimmy's behalf, but I would like to see Jimmy come in, win that U.S. title from Nakamura. Maybe unexpected to a lot of people. I'd be thrilled for him. And then, again, have Melo dethrone him maybe 3, 4, 5 months down the road. Let me know what you guys think. Sean Ross Sapp said that WWE is interested to bring Miro back. All right, nice. Again, under Triple H's management, leadership, Tammy, I have high hopes for Alistair when he's there, because he was more of a Triple H guy in NXT and stuff. Miro or Rusev, I'm not so sure. If Triple H didn't really have a vision for Bobby Lashley there, I'm not so sure that Triple H is going to have a vision for Rusev there. That's my concern. So you could hire anybody, and I know Tony Khan's more guilty of not utilizing his talent, probably more so than Triple H these days, but that's not to say that Triple H dismisses a lot of notable talent that he could probably be using on a weekly basis as well. So, again, we'll see. I would love to see Rusev back. Don't get me wrong. It's been 3-4+ years, but, I can't say I'm overly excited to see him back because, again, I'm very confused about where they're going to put him in booking. I don't think Rusev goes to the world title picture, not just tomorrow, but even next year. And the way the mid-card's been looking, I don't know, man. So we'll see. But let's see here. I'm getting some comments here. I'm gonna say it was Naomi because you think about it, she could be jealous. I agree, Cal. It could all start with Jade eliminating Naomi at the Royal Rumble 2024. That was supposed to be Naomi's big night. Naomi returned to the company after being gone almost 2 years, being in TNA and stuff. So want Jimmy to get a championship. I agree, Tammy. Want to see Jimmy, U.S. champ? Me too, Rachel. I think they need to put a title on Carmelo Hayes because Carmelo Hayes don't miss. I hear you, Cal. Again, I don't think he needs the instant gratification. Let's be honest here. A lot of people are bent out of shape because Melo hasn't had this run of the decade. He's only been on the brand since May, guys. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, he took so many L's." All right. Did you expect Melo to show up and be Braun Breaker? No. So the bottom line is Melo will still probably hold gold at latest by the summertime, and that's just over a year on the main roster, and that's great. I mean, you think about when I started watching wrestling in the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of these top-tier superstars were lucky to ever hold a mid-card title, not to mention, ever hold an IC title, not to mention ever getting a world title shot. So let's put everything in perspective here. I think everybody's getting a little bent out of shape over nothing. Who won the triple threat match, Cal? That was Damian Priest with a South of Heaven choke slam to Braun Strowman, which we'll get to in a minute. I'm loving the new tag team division. SmackDown need to work on it. And Raw, I agree, Tammy. Yeah, Raw needs some improvements as well. I agree. Seeing rumors that they may put Punk in the Cody Cena match. Yeah, it's looking like Punk may be the third wheel in in Cody Cena or Roman Seth. So we'll see what they make of that, Rachel. Yeah, I'm very curious to see what happens there. I'm not letting KO versus Cody Rhodes match fly. I'm still mad about that. Yeah, I know. You were bent out of shape for a while there, Cal. Guys, if you have not already, hit the subscribe button on the channel. Again, at minimum, at least hit that thumbs up. Hit that like button. I know it's been I was very lucky earlier this week. I had a couple nights where the subscriptions here were coming in very hot and heavy. It's been a very slow night, but that's all right. At least we could just get the likes up. The chat's been good. And so we'll move forward here with the later part of the review. So we talked about the U.S. title scenario, and I think this took us to the main event, actually, believe it or not. We finally got to the main event, much quicker than I thought we would, still under the first hour. So we had Jacob Fatu, Braun Strowman, Damian Priest. Obviously, this was a very hard-hitting encounter. And let's just fast forward to the finish, because that's the juicy part, and that's what we all are here to discuss. So why drag this out any longer than it needs to be? Now, we had Strowman. He was ready to take out Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu had Strowman in a very precarious position just moments prior with a chair over his head, around the neck, in the corner turnbuckle. It looked bad. It looked like it was going to be bad. Strowman was able to fight out of it. Now he had Jacob in this spot. Strowman was about to run into him. Good old Strowman Express style like he did during his first run with the company. And Strowman was suddenly taken out by a guy in a hoodie. I feel like we see a guy in a black hoodie every week. They got to come up with something slightly different. Maybe he could wear a gray hoodie or a navy blue hoodie. I don't know. Anyway, we see a Samoan spike to Strowman by none other than Solo Sikoa. We then shortly thereafter saw some sort of a Fatu splash to Strowman. We thought the match would be over at this point, but we knew there was going to be some kind of nonsense that was going to happen because the way Jacob landed on Braun Strowman, usually he stays on him, would go right for the pin. He kind of nudged on him and then fell to the opposite side of the ring. So you knew somebody was coming. No more than 0.3 seconds later, Cody Rhodes music hits. Now, it was still cool. It was still fun. That said, Cody comes out, runs after Solo Sikoa on the outside. Now, Tama Tonga at one point held up Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes dipped out. Solo then hit Tama Tonga with the Samoan spike, just as Jacob Fatu was rolling out onto the ground, coming off the apron, saw it, was about to go and approach Solo, was about to rip his shirt off. He was pissed. He was very upset at this moment in time. Jacob saw this. Priest, I believe, knocked Jacob Fatu into Solo Sikoa, which would then lead to a Cody Rhodes Crossroads to Solo. Shortly thereafter, we saw Damian Priest hit a South of Heaven chokeslam in the center of the ring to Braun, and simply stated, Priest is advancing. You know, going into this match last week, I was saying, no, maybe they pushed Jacob into this match. But as days progressed, the one guy I knew that was not going to win this match was Braun Strowman, right? Nothing against him. He was more like process of elimination type of deal. But I say, you know, if they don't have Jacob Fatu in this match, which I see why they wouldn't just yet, because when he does get in this kind of match, I feel like he should probably win it. And he's not going to win it against guys like Punk and Cena and other notable names, you know, legendary names at this moment in time. So Priest made a lot of sense. A former world champion. You know, Priest has accomplished a lot. You know, he's a former world champion, a two-time tag champion, a former U.S. champion, a former North American champion on NXT. Obviously, Mr. Money in the Bank or Senior in the Bank last year. So Priest has gotten a lot done in his few years with WWE. So good for him. He advances as they're about to go off air. Cody and Priest are next to each other as they both look at that WrestleMania 41 sign, the Vegas with the deck of cards, and that was that. That was Friday night SmackDown there. Let's see here. I'm going to read some comments now. You know how I feel. Punk has added. Oh, I do, Rachel. I do. We are eventually getting Solo versus Jacob. He was not happy. Yeah. Solo Jacob could easily be at Mania, Tammy, and I'm here for it. Why does no one believe? Let's see. People need to understand that Braun is a powerhouse and Mello is more of a technically flat. Yep, I agree, Nas. I agree. But everybody thinks, you know, everybody's into instant gratification, man. Everybody thinks Mello should be walking around with 3 titles. We're getting Jacob versus Solo. Sure. That we are, Cal. What's up, Spear? How we doing? Welcome back. Again, guys, if you just joined, hit that thumbs up button, hit the like button. Helps the channel. Subscribe. Thank you. Share with a friend. Tama is Jacob's main man right now. He is. He was not happy. Yep. Well, you saw that backstage earlier in the night, Sammy. You know, after Solo tried to keep Jacob, hold him back and say, I love you, Jacob. Jacob was out, and then Tama kind of gave him a dirty look. Even when the two were talking initially, Tama was giving Solo dirty looks. And so that was that. Make the black hoodies face again. Can you smell what the turnbuckle is cooking? What's up, Mox? How we doing, bro? Let's see. Jacob Fatu, I don't think he's the one to beat Cody Rhodes. Well, I don't think he's the one to beat Cody Rhodes at this moment in time, but in due time, booked appropriately, Jacob is an absolute world champion, WWE champion, call it what you want, regardless what side of the fence he's on, Raw or SmackDown. The guy's an absolute savage, and that's not to say that Solo Sikoa, you know, we said this, I said this at least, way before Jacob even entered the fray. I said this a year or two ago. Solo is a future WWE champion as well. Don't get it twisted. Now, he may not be at the where a guy like Jacob Fatu is at, character-wise, presence-wise, and all that, in-ring-wise, you name it. But Solo is also a future champion. I say Jacob still should be champion before that, but Solo is as well, so don't discount that. I love you, Solo. Watching Vengeance, yes, Tammy, I will be. And I'm going to try to check out Grand Slam Australia as well. How about yourself? Crazy night on SmackDown for sure, Mox. So just wrapping up the review here. Crazy night, guys. But again, thank you guys for subscribing, hanging with me the last hour. This was a phenomenal review. Hang here for a little bit longer with you guys. Again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and share it with all your wrestling friends, family, and all like. Let's see. The funny thing is, my man, the one who started all this mess for Jacob Solo, yeah. I love how Jacob didn't start anything with Cody, but held him back. Yeah, Tammy, that told us everything we needed to know, where that was when you knew this was a principle-based issue with Jacob Fatu. And it takes us to guys like Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre. And although they're running heel now, and they may not all do the most ethically presenting things to guys like Cody or Roman, Drew and KO have their reasons, and Jacob has his reasons with Solo. You know, Solo left him high and dry last month. And he found out that, you know, him and Tama are better off without Solo. So I respect the fact that he just held Cody back. There didn't need to be an altercation. He just said, no, I'm getting to this guy first. This is family business, you know, blood's thicker than water type of deal. And you can get to him when you want to get to him, but I will get to him first. And I like how they panned backstage a couple of times before he got to Solo in the locker room area back there. That he started, you know, throwing security personnel or throwing things around because he was upset, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Thank you, Spear. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you subscribing. Thank you for liking the live as well. And I hope to see you here on Mondays and Fridays, man. Appreciate you a lot. Check out the daily content too, guys. It's like bikes with different weight classes. Some people are just different classes. Yeah, good way to put it, Nas. Good way to put it. Let's see. Jacob Gunther would be money. Yes, that'd be something, Wiccan. We'll get that one day, man. And I'm there for it, title or not. You know who I want to be, Cody Rhodes, and he goes by the name of. Yeah, we know you love KO, Cal. Loving Street Profits heel promos now. They didn't need Bobby Lashley or even BFAB. Yeah, they need to be on their own, Tammy. And that's the trajectory of where they were headed. You know what I mean? Kayfabe, and to a point, you know, a lot of these men and women have a big chip on their shoulder in real life. You know what I mean? And Montez, you best believe, and Dawkins as well. You know, feel like they've been underutilized, underused, have not been getting the shine or credibility they should be getting. And so a lot of that organic, real nature about them is coming out on screen, and I love that for them. I love that, so appreciate you, Cal. All right, guys, going to hang with you probably for the next 8-10 minutes, and I am out of here. Again, so hit that like button, thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already, and again, I will be back here Monday night immediately following Raw for the Raw review. Now, I don't know if I'm going to review a Vengeance Day or anything like that, or talk about Grand Slam Australia, both taking place tomorrow. If I do hop on here, I'll probably hop on here at some point later Sunday, probably not tomorrow night. But we'll see. I'll either, if I do go over Vengeance Day or Grand Slam, I'm not sure if I'll hop on here or TikTok, but either way, definitely we'll be back here Monday night following Raw, so you can guarantee that. I think Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens are going to become a team. Yeah, I mean, it's been rumored, you know, with maybe Seth one day, Lashley now in AEW, so is Ricochet. It is, yeah. I mean, the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby and Shelton are doing phenomenal in AEW, tag champs and all that, and MVP. MVP is not going to let them fall by the wayside. I think the Get a Jacob Fatu is great. Needs a little work on the promos, but yeah, as I said before he got in here, Mox, you know, a babyface Jacob is inevitable in due time, even if it's 2-3 years from now. Just like a heel Cody, I feel is kind of inevitable at some point. So we soon shall see. Let's see here. If on Monday at this time I can't join, I got to go. Yeah, no problem, Spear. No problem. Hey, look, Mondays, Fridays, I get on right after the show. If you can make it, you can make it. Who do you think Ricky's first opponent should be? I would love him versus Ethan. Him versus Ethan would be fun, Tammy. I just feel like they're not going to put him right up against a former AEW guy. But I am very curious of the trajectory of where they're heading Ricky. I couldn't even begin to imagine where they're going to insert him, but I can't wait to see. I cannot wait to see. My TV says the AEW at 10:30 p.m., which is great. So I know it's thanks to you know, Rachel, I think I saw that too. And if that's the case, I am absolutely here for that. If AEW is coming on after Vengeance Day, that is the perfect scenario for me. That I don't have to jump back and forth. I think we discussed this last night or recently. Some casual fans watch wrestling and look at guys like Omos and say, how does this guy not have all the world titles? Yeah, I hear you, Nas. That's why we don't judge a book by its cover, for better or worse, man. I'm thinking Sean Spears is taking the belt off Tony. Tony D? Okay. What's up, Nas? We will see. We'll see how I feel depending on after this. I may try to hop on there for a little bit. Have a great night, Sammy. Yeah, I'm getting a little tired myself, so I don't know. I may try to hop on TikTok if I got a little more energy. We'll see. Have a great night, Tammy. Enjoy the shows tomorrow. Hope to see you soon. Whoop that trick. Yeah, you think he's going to beat Eddie Thorpe? I think so. How do you see the New Day heel turn going? Plus and minus of your opinion. You know, Wiccan, thus far I've liked it. I think they've done it to the best of their ability. It's just really weird. You know, they're not necessarily in title contention. Not saying I think they should or shouldn't be. I like that it's something different going in after their 10 years. But how long will this last? I'm not quite sure. Until they potentially implode? I don't know. I feel like Omos isn't good. He's just big. I hear you, Spear. I hear you. And Monday Night Rollins. Yeah, Monday Night Rollins, man. Yep. Appreciate you guys joining me, though, on this late night Valentine's Day edition. For those hanging with me here tonight, thank you. Thank you for hitting that thumbs up. Thank you for subscribing. And again, I'll hang here about 5 more minutes, make my way out of here. What happened to all these WWE superstars going over to AEW? I hear you, man. Keep us on our toes with the late night with Terminal. I try, Rach. I try. Nice, Spear. I'm glad you did, man. New Day took it to another level from the past heel runs. Yeah, they absolutely did. I mean, turning on their very own in Big E, that was slightly unexpected, at least to me, to say the least. So, on that early December episode of Raw, that was a pretty wild scene. So, that was a pretty wild scene to say the least. So. All right, guys. Any more questions, comments, concerns? I'm gonna wrap it up here in a few. Um, yeah, I figured as much, Rach. I figured as much. you know, I heard that they're going to keep his name as Ricky Starks. Okay, okay. Well, yeah, I know they didn't make mention of it. They did not make mention of it Tuesday, so I figured that they may not um, be using that name. But hey, regardless what happens, we'll see. Soon shall see. What do you think they'll do with Cross? I know we're both high on him. Yeah, I'm hoping they do something with him. Being that they're keeping him on Raw, seemingly Wiccan, with his wife Scarlett, of course. I'd love to see them do something with him, man. What? Who knows? I mean, it's never a good sign when, a single superstar is readily available on the roster and they're not in the Royal Rumble. That's not a good start to the new year. I'll say that, right? Whether that means any kind of a singles push, title or not, potentially something on a WrestleMania card or any of the other PLEs. It's just, I don't know. I hope something happens with Cross, but I fear that in 5-6 months, July comes around, August, and we may be stuck in the same boat that we've been in since he returned 3 years ago. By that point, why should I care? And it stinks. I hate that for Cross, but I don't know, man. Why would it come on after Vengeance Day? Because the NBA All Star Game, Cal. No, I think that's it. WWE stream. You're a good YouTuber, and I'm out for the night. Thank you, Spear. Have a great night, my friend. See you around. Let me Omar squash match. All right. Who remembers those Braun Strowman Nia Jax squash matches when the brand split started back up in 2016 on Monday Night Raw? We saw a lot of people. We saw Lady Frost, Britt Baker, a lot of the opponents that went up against Nia Jax. That was it's time New Day can't even interact with the fans being a heel. You're right, Mox. What's up, bro? I'm late. SmackDown ended strong with that match. Yes, Adrian. Good to see you, my friend. I was just saying, the first hour and the third hour were good. The middle hour was not good to me. Well, why will AW come on after Vengeance Day? Yeah, Cal, I was just saying, again, obviously, AEW is not planning to come on after NXT, but they will show up after the NBA All-Star Game concludes for most of us. Take care, Spear. Let's see. No problem. I have had a wonderful Valentine's Day. Very good. Very good. All right, guys. Going to hang with 2 more minutes and call it a night. Again, thank you for joining me on this Friday night edition. SmackDown review, Valentine's Day. And guys, again, if you have not, hit that thumbs up, hit the like button, and namely, hit that subscribe as well. All right, hit that subscribe button to the channel, and hit the notification bell as well, so you know I'm on here. Check out all the content, the short form, the long form content, and all that stuff. You too, Mox. You take care, my friend. I want to see the New Day on TV. All right, Cal. Just finished BBQing. Nice, nice. Hope you had a good one, Adrian. Awesome, man. Awesome. All right, guys. Any last-minute comments, concerns, questions regarding SmackDown or anything wrestling this weekend? Vengeance Day, AEW. Going to head out in a minute here. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and I am on my way. When do you think they will actually put a title on KO? Well, I know you're hoping so, Cal. Again, man, I know you're a big KO fan. I like KO too. Probably not as much as you. But I wouldn't hold my breath, brother. I would not hold my breath. KO may hold the title, literally hold the title like he did Cody's Winged Eagle for a month or two. But I don't think I don't know when he's actually going to win a title, man. I really don't. I don't know. Never say never, right? But I would not plan on it. And I hate to say that, but it just ain't looking good. See you over on TikTok 10. Yeah, possibly, Rachel. It's looking that way. It's looking that way. Hopefully, I'll see you there, too. WWE just got televised. Now we got restarts. Yeah, it'll be good. The Revolution has just been televised. Was watching random YouTubes of the funny WWF fair moments like they try to... Nice, nice. That's cool, Adrian. That's cool. Yeah, it's always fun, man, seeing that kind of stuff. It's always fun. All right, guys, thank you for joining me on this Friday night edition of the SmackDown Review. I will see you guys right here Monday night, following Monday Night Raw, obviously. You have a great weekend. Again, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Hit the like before I end this live. And follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Turnbuckle Topics, TOPIX. The very same handle as this. Look for the logo and all that good stuff. Yes, Top Guys out. Thank you, Spear. Who do you think will dethrone Shinsuke? Packers, jumping in here real quick with a question. Be sure to hit that subscribe button as well, Packers. If you're new here, hit the like button on the live if you haven't already too. Thank you. But I'll answer your question here. Who do you think will dethrone Shinsuke? I think LA Knight very likely could become a two-time champion to dethrone him. Not saying I necessarily want that, but as I mentioned early on in this live, I would not be opposed to seeing someone like Mello or even Jimmy Uso being thrown in the mix as well, or even Andrade. Just somebody different, you know what I mean? It's nothing against LA Knight, but I really wish they would jumble up and mix up that mid card and make it a little more juicy. That's just my thoughts on that. But again, guys, thank you for joining me on this live. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit that like button, and I will see you Monday night following Raw. I may head over to TikTok in a few minutes, so we soon shall see. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend.